Good morning. The Committee on Parole is called to order. Today is November 13, 2025. The time is 9:02 a.m. My name is Cheryl Renatza, serving as chairman of today's parole panel. On the panel this morning, my colleagues here in Baton Rouge is Ms. Carolyn Stapleton. Joining us remotely by Zoom is Mrs. Jerry Ledoux. We are at DOC headquarters in Baton Rouge, so I'd like to ask the staff here to please introduce yourself for the record.
Carla Williams.
Francis Abbott.
And our first remote location this morning is at Claiborne Detention Center. And I believe we have Mr. Comeaux before us.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Comeaux, would you introduce yourself? Tell us your name and DOC number.
My name is Merlin James Comeaux. My DOC number is 441810.
All right, Mr. Comeaux. Let me acknowledge the guests that we have here who are here in support. And their sisters, three sisters, Tessa Comeaux, Andrea Comeaux, and Katrina Comeaux. And so we'll ask for their comments shortly. First, I'm going to read some identifiers into the record, and then I'll ask you if that information is true and correct. And then I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Ledoux because your case has been assigned to her this morning. You ready?
Yes, ma'am.
So, Mr. Comeaux, you're classified as a second felony offender. You're currently serving an 18-year sentence. You were sentenced in Acadia Parish in January of 2011 for one count of indecent behavior with a juvenile, and your parole eligibility date was November 30th of 2018. You don't earn good time, so your full-term release date is November 29 of 2027. Is that information correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mrs. Ledoux?
Yes, good morning. Mr. Comeaux, have you served 15 of your 18-year sentence?
Yes, ma'am. I'm coming up on 16 years.
Coming up on 16. And I was a little confused reading your report regarding the classes you've taken. I saw where you had started phase 1 and 2 of the sex offender treatment, but were you removed for disciplinary reasons? And have you ever completed that course?
I was removed because where I was taking the class at, a table had got destroyed, and my name, I was written up for it, but they couldn't provide footage proving that I did that, so they just kicked me out the classroom and never reinstated me. You know, and those write-ups were dismissed.
And so have you requested to be
Yes, ma'am, I have requested. Yes, ma'am, I have requested right after I was kicked out of the class. You know, I asked to be reinstated, and they had transferred me over here.
And they don't offer that at the facility that you're in, correct?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So you have one count in this particular case. Was this an isolated incident, or because I have the record, so be honest, was this an isolated incident?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I don't see in your file any transition plan to return to society. So what were your thoughts about that? Because I know you have to have an approved residence plan for the particular crime that you're on. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, my family, my three sisters that support me, you know, they have housing that they have did research on that I will be able to go to. Plus, prior to my incarceration, you know, I was in the transportation industry, and you know, I would like to go back to that, but you know, I understand I might have to start at the bottom, you know, and work my way back up, you know. So, but for the most part, you know, I've learned a lot on this during my incarceration, what it is to be resilient, what it is to have discipline and be patient no matter what trials and tribulations I may face and go through. It's not what I go through, it's about how I respond to it.
So I didn't delve real deeply into your disciplinary conduct because you have been right up free for the last 3 years. But how many DBs do you have in your jacket?
I don't have none that I'm aware of because I've been over
Okay.
here at this facility for going on 5 years in January and I haven't received a write-up.
Okay. Okay. Are there any members of the staff there who could speak about, so what is your job? What is your job currently?
I don't have a job at this facility and,
Okay.
it's just, I
They don't have
mean,
anything for y'all to do. It's just doing time.
yeah, it's just doing time. I mean, they do have trustees in positions and stuff like that, but I mean,
Can you have,
I guess I don't, I'm not with the politics, it's political.
okay. So you never took pre-release or substance abuse?
No, ma'am, when I was in Allen Parish Correctional Center, I was taking NA and AA and stuff
Uh-huh.
like that, but that was in like 2015 and 16, but I got transferred from there.
Okay. Okay. I'd like to hear from your sisters at this time. Um, who wants to go first?
I can.
Which one? Yeah. Okay.
I can go first. I'm sorry, I had some issues unmuting my phone. Good morning. My name is Tessa. I'm Merlin's younger sister. And actually, I have actually been doing research. I spoke with a couple of people. There's 2 homes in where we live. There's one in Lafayette called Sober Living. There's also another one in New Iberia that houses strictly sex offenders. I've been in very close contact with both of them. They're both waiting for me to respond after this hearing. We have a bed already ready. I've looked into the programs. I've also spoke with Miss Ethel, who has an outreach program here in Lafayette that I'm sure you guys are familiar with. The homes that I've spoken with, they are fully vetted with the Louisiana Board of Pardon and Parole. So they both said that he would qualify. They were looking into some more information. Miss Ethel Thibodeau with Beacon Connections, it's a community outreach. She's prepared to help with sex offender fees, housing. We have a lot of resources. My other sister who's actually on the phone, she works for a similar program, a day program, and she also has a lot of resources. So we've gotten information on just like curfew, the programs, different things that's offered in these homes, different type of support groups. There's also one in Lafayette called Sober Living where they have to go to church and they have to receive therapy so many times a week. They have to find a job. So I have a lot of information that I can send over to you guys if you would like. But we've definitely been looking into things and just trying to help him to transition back into society because I know it's going to be a challenge being that he's been in there for a while. But we're willing to help however we can.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am.
And the next person, which other sister wants to speak
I'll
now?
go. I'll go. I'm Chandrea Como, ma'am. How you doing?
Good.
Well, I'm his younger sister, and I have a CDL license. My brother also, he held a CDL license before he went in, and we looked into the process of getting his fee. A lot of fees have been waived because he's incarcerated. So I think now his balance to get his license back is like $800. They just waiting for him to get back to go to the DMV to get on a payment plan. And I have jobs, like I have a lot of connections with jobs to get him back rolling. I know he can't go like far out. He got to stay like in the city or whatever, but I have a lot of connections with jobs. They just need him to get out to fill the application out. We have a lot of connections. People are willing to help him.
Okay, great. And the last sister, sorry, I don't have a name in front of me.
Hi, good morning. My name is RENE COMEAUX, and I thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak on behalf of my brother Merlin. I just want to say that my brother has been incarcerated for years. And during that time, he has reflected deeply on the choices that led him there. Through these years, I've seen a real change in him, not just his words, but in his attitude and the way he carries himself. He's grown in faith, humility, and gratitude, and he truly understands the seriousness of his past and has taken full responsibility for his actions. The man he is today, not the same man who entered the system all those years ago. My brother often speaks about wanting a second chance, not only to rebuild his life, but to also be a positive influence on others. He hopes to use his story and his experiences to teach other young men who may be heading down the wrong path and to help them understand that every decision matters and that redemption is always possible through accountability and change. He is committed to becoming a productive member of society, to work, to give back, to live a life of integrity. And all he is asking for is the opportunity to show that the lessons he's learned were not in vain, and that no matter what mistakes a person has made, it's never too late to change. As his family, we will continue to support and encourage him as he takes the next steps in his journey. I know he can't change the past, but I also know that he's truly remorseful and he's ready to move forward in a positive and a meaningful way. I thank you for your time and for considering his request for parole.
Thank you. Well, I would say, Mr. Como, that you are extremely blessed to have the sisters you have. And they have spoken very positively about you, but I want to hear from you. What have you learned during this time about your behavior that sent you to prison? And I mean, we've read all the details. So you tell me, what have you learned?
I have learned that, what it is to, live a life on life's terms. Prior to my incarceration, I was abusing, cocaine, and I was making choices, that led me here, and I understand that, and as I got older, I got wiser, and you know, rehabilitation, a lot of these places they don't offer it, but it really starts within. You have to take accountability and responsibility for your actions. And nobody's perfect. We all have our flaws, but I understand what it is to be a man. I understand what it is to go through things and how to respond to it, and I really have learned my lesson and things like that. I'm not a violent individual, I'm not a career criminal or anything. And, I'm willing to do whatever it takes, to reintegrate back into society and to be that member, to take care of my family and my loved ones that has been there for me for all these years.
Yeah, well, talk to me about about the impact on your victim. I mean, that's one thing I haven't heard any of your sisters talk about, or you.
Okay.
I want to know what you've come to understand about the victim impact.
What I come to understand is that the victim, has suffered, mental anguish. And since then, the victim, we have, put our differences aside and, forgiveness, I was forgiven and things of that nature. And, I'm really, remorseful and sorry for my actions, my crime and everything, and I understand that, what I did, was not right,
How
and
not right? How not right?
it wasn't right by the laws of the land,
It's not right morally either. It's not
morally.
right
Yes, ma'am.
as a father. It's not
Yes,
right.
ma'am.
Okay. Um, I'm going to allow my colleagues to ask some questions. I want to reserve to be able to come back. But if my colleagues would like to ask some questions.
Yeah, I mean, I follow along the same path as Miss Ledoux. When she asked you the questions about what do you think about your victim, you talked only about yourself. and that you're forgiven and all of this kind of stuff. But I don't think you have a clue what that must have done to that child at all. So even all these years later, I don't think you've reflected on how bad what you did was. So I just, that's all I have to say about it. I don't see any changes there.
I'm sorry, ma'am. Is it okay for me?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I'm sorry. Mr. Como, you've been before the parole board twice. You were denied both times in 2018, 2021, and the reason stated each of those times was the need for sex offender treatment, because at that time you hadn't had it. So you've had phase 1 and 2, right?
I took phase 1, 2, and 3, and I went to came up for parole in 2023, and they said I had victim opposition, which was untrue.
Right. I did see there's no victim opposition today, but your record that I have only shows phase 1 and 2.
No, ma'am. I took phase 1, 2, and 3, and I was testing out. You know, I was at the end, and I
You
got
must not
canceled.
have got credit for 3 if that's when all that stuff with the table happened. Maybe they didn't give you credit for 3. Do you have contact with your daughter or her mother?
And yes, ma'am. You know, my daughter, she wrote me a letter, and she told me, you know, she needed me, you know, to be in her life. Yes, I am in contact with her.
And do you well, that's all I have for now. Ms. Ledoux, you want to follow up?
Obviously, Mr. Como, you have to have pre-release prior to release. That is just one of the requirements that the state has put into place. And that has not, do they have pre-release where you are?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And there's some things that are missing in the puzzle piece. I think that with the completion of your sex offender treatment and your pre-release, then that gives me the confidence knowing that that's been completed. And the support that you have from your family, obviously they've worked very hard to come up with that. Let me tell you one of the things that the way I think about this is that you're going to be off paper in 2027. And if you are released in 2026, you will have time on supervision that the Department of Correction will be able to supervise you and know how you're reintegrating. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you been on supervision before?
I was on probation. This was
Probation.
way back in like 2000, like 2000, 2000 to 2001.
Yeah. And but you have to understand this is going to be a very intense supervision. Okay. With no option if you ever got out before your full-term date. I'm prepared to vote. I'm going to vote to grant your parole conditioned upon completion of the sex offender treatment and pre-release with approved plans and with increased substance abuse testing and a curfew. I want to have this period of supervision so that because you have no victim opposition, there's no opposition to your release. You obviously have support. Your evidence-based evaluations are good. So I think that this period of supervision with some additional would be helpful for my mind. So that's my vote today.
All right, thank you. Mrs. Stapleton?
Well, I agree with everything Ms. Ledoux said. I mean, she's put on some very good conditions, and that would be necessary because you are fixing to get out. It's not a long time, so that would ensure that you would continue your treatment plan. And so I concur with Ms. Ledoux.
All right, Mr. Como, I do agree. We need, documentation that you complete the sex offender treatment. We'll send you back probably to buy you DART sheets so you can finish that program. Do you understand the other conditions that Ms. Ledoux laid out?
Yes, ma'am. It's just the pre-release. Will I have to take that over there too, or I'll be transferred somewhere else?
They have it. I think they have it there.
Okay, so y'all gonna make sure that I get transferred to these facilities because it's nothing that I can do on my own.
I know, but we can get that done.
I would like to add that I think you only should have supervised contact with the victim while you're on paper. I think that needs to be a supervised contact so that we understand and you understand that that's a you're not to be alone with the victim until you're off paper.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so, well, you got a little bit of work to do, Mr. Como. But you've been great. Go, let's
Do you understand how do you know like how long would it take like for me to be transferred over there?
Well, we're just going to make the request to DOC, and we don't have any particular sense of how long it'll take, but usually they do it as quickly as a bed is available. So good luck to you. That concludes our business there at Claiborne. All right, good morning. The Committee on Parole is convening now at Ouachita Parish Correctional Center. And we have before us Miss Gay. Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you, for the record, introduce yourself, tell us your name and your DOC number?
Melissa Gay, 612179.
Right? Yes, ma'am. That's what I have. And let's see, we have with us today in support, we have your brother Raymond Blunt and your daughter Lacey Barber, both of whom want to speak for you. We do have opposition. We have from the 21st Judicial District Attorney's Office, we have Tatlin Costa, Alexis Taylor, Michelle Sparks, and Tamika White. And we'll hear from their spokesman also shortly. First, let me read some identifying information into the record. And then I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Stapleton, seated here to my right, because your case has been assigned to her today. You ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, Ms. Gay, you are classified as a third felony offender. You currently serving a 10-year sentence. You were sentenced in Livingston Parish in February 2024 for possession of buprenorphine and possession with intent to distribute methamphetamine. You received 10 years on both of those convictions, but it's running together. It's running concurrently. You have a parole eligibility date, which is March 10th of 2026, and your mandatory release date, good time date, is March 10 of 2027. Is that accurate?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Okay, thank you. Mrs. Stapleton.
Yes, ma'am. Have you served, is 2 years of the 10 years that you were sentenced? Is that how much you served so far?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Why don't you tell us why you think you should be paroled early and tell us how you got here today?
Well, I'm gonna start by how I got here. I started making a lot of bad decisions, and of course, I'm not proud of the things that I've done, but it took that to lead to where I am today. I'm just I'm not saying it was right for what I've done. I know that what I've done, it isn't right, but it took the time that I have been incarcerated to change my way of thinking. And I wouldn't have been able to change that had I been at home. It took this time to change the way that I'm thinking now. So I'm appreciative for that.
How do you think now?
I'm ready to I've been working for a year now. Before I came to jail, I wasn't thinking about how I wanted to take care of myself and work and be productive. And now I want to go home and work, and I want to be the mother that I can be to my 2 girls, because I'm very blessed to have the family that I have that's behind me. And I'm ready to show them what I'm capable of, what I know I've been capable of all these years. I just haven't put forth the initiative to be that person.
What type of work would that be?
I want to work with the disabled or the elderly. That's my passion.
When did you discover that was your passion?
It's always been a passion of mine, but I've never put forth the initiative to make it official. I've done it with friends or with family around the house, but I've never really made a living off of it before, and that's something that I really want to do.
Do they have a work release program where you're located at? They offer.
I'm in work release now. I've been here for a year.
Okay, and tell me what you do there.
I work at a baby factory. I'm a line lead. We produce baby medicines and box it and ship it out.
That's good. So
Yes,
you've been,
ma'am.
how long you been there? I think I know, but
January the 6th is when I came here November the 14th, but I didn't actually start work till January 6th, but I love where I work.
well, that's good. That's
I
really
do.
glad to hear that.
Thank you.
So I guess what we'll do now, I did want to ask you, about your programs. What kind of programs have you taken?
I've taken some online programs, substance abuse, domestic violence. That was something that I needed to take from my past. Parenting, life skills.
They don't offer any classes there. You have to do it online.
No, ma'am. They offer them, but you have to be 6 months short of your time in order to get into them. So online was the only way that I could go.
Okay, I understand.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Well, why don't we hear your supporters, what they have to say? Who would like to go first? Well, is there anybody there from the facility who would like to speak? Or is it just you in the room?
It's just me.
Okay. Mr. Blunt or Ms. Barber, would you like to speak? Tell us what you have to say.
I'll speak.
Okay.
Well, as she says, she has had issues, but during this time, she's not asked for anything. And as far as the caretaker, she does help take care of our grandmother that is 80-something years old. And me personally, I was in a bad motorcycle wreck about a year before she went to jail. And I was bedridden and in a wheelchair, and she used to come sit beside my bed, take care of everything I needed, whether it was water or anything. And she did lose her way. And she knew she did because she talks to me all the time on the phone about it. And she just wants to get out and do better. I don't even want to say she wants to get out and do better. She wants to do better right now. She's even told me that she needed what she has gotten, as hard as that is for anybody. As anybody, she says she knows she needed to be removed from the dynamic she was in because she wasn't strong enough to get herself out of it. And I believe in her, and we're very frank with one another. And I wouldn't be here today if I didn't believe in her. You know, I'd be willing to bet anything on her. She is a good person. She has done things that she shouldn't have. She does love her daughters. She loves her brother. And we need her, but we need her to need herself. And I believe that's where she's at. She doesn't complain, none. Not a single time she's been in there and she called me. As a matter of fact, I have to fuss at her for not calling me enough. But she said she don't want to bother us because she put herself there, but she's not bothering. We love her and we want her better, but we want her to get better and then come home. And I think she is better, and we're ready.
I understand that. It's wonderful. I'm glad she has your support. Lacey, would you like to speak?
Yes, ma'am. I just wanted to come in here today to show my support for her position. There's been a lot of things that she's done in the past, but I feel like one of her biggest downfalls has been her heart because she lacked the ability to say no whenever somebody requested help. And a lot of other people knew that. And anytime that she would go out of her way in order to help, it would backfire. She's put herself in positions to where her sole responsibility, regardless of whatever else was going on in her life, to care for the elderly. She's sat, I can't even tell you how many people's bedside she sat beside and taking care of them whenever most other people complained and said that they had other things to do. It would have been really hard if she wasn't there during the times that she was in order to help with like my grandfather. Before we didn't really have the best relationship, but over like during her incarceration here, she's reached out and she's made efforts that I haven't previously seen. And like it just meant a lot to me, and it shows that she's trying to better herself. She does have a long way to come. Not everybody changes in, just a couple of years, but the amount of change that she has displayed since being able to contribute to like working, which she wasn't able to do previously, it's an outstanding improvement. I will say that. I feel like she could make a positive change in not only her family's life, and I think that she would bring a positive aspect to like the workforce as well. This is the first time in a while that she's had that opportunity, and it's changed something.
Well, I'm glad that you've had this opportunity to feel good about your mother. I mean, you need that for yourself. And it's wonderful that she is in the transitional work program because it does give her ability to have some self-esteem. And I know that's what you want for your mother. So she's lucky to have you for a daughter.
I've
Thank
been
you.
feeling lucky to have her lately.
There you go. Thank you for your words, okay? All right. Ms. Gay, we have some opposition, so we're going to hear from them. It was read out to you from the 21st JDC. So Alexis Taylor, would you like to speak, please?
Good morning to the board. So yes, the state is opposed to an early release. And one of the things the board mentioned here is the fact that she is a triple offender. So she has avoided a substantial amount of time in jail because the state did not invoke the habitual offender bill. Additionally, she's received 2 years, 2 concurrent sentences when they could have been consecutive. And not only that, considering her criminal history, it dates back to at least 2010, where there's an arrest for operating a clandestine lab. Now that charge was ultimately dismissed, but we do have a 2013 and a 2020 possession of Schedule II convictions that both resulted in probation. And in spite of those opportunities on probation, where she had all the time and opportunity to make the improvements that she's telling us she's going to make here today, she did not. And she continued her activities. The facts of this particular matter include her distributing drugs to another party and her making an admission doing so. So while I appreciate, that she feels as though she is ready to be released and make positive contributions, the state does not feel as though she is fully prepared for that at this time, and we do stand opposed to her early release.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Taylor. Let me ask you something, Ms. Gay. We have a parole eligibility worksheet, and part of it does talk about a pre-release programming and a substance abuse, but like you said, you can only get it online. Do y'all have pre-release programming there?
No, ma'am.
No, you don't have that.
No, ma'am.
Okay, and of course, the ADA just went over the facts of the crime, that you did have paraphernalia and you did have methamphetamines,
Yes,
and Suboxone,
yes,
which you sold, and then you still had some at your house. And then concerning to me also was the past that you did have previous charges that were very severe, and you did have previous probation, so you had other opportunities to get back on track with your life. And you haven't done it, so I know for a fact, I think any family that can say there's nobody that they love in their family that hasn't been touched by drugs or mental illness, yay you, because the vast majority of the population can't say that. So this is in no way, shedding unkind light on you, because this is something that is a long-term problem. We know that. And you need long-term help for it. So I'm going to pass it along to my board members to see if they have some more things they would like to add.
Ms. Ledoux?
I don't have any questions or comments at this time.
Okay, thank you. So you mentioned, how did you first get it, started, I guess, with your drug use?
My daughter's father committed suicide, and when he did, I lost everything, including where I was at in my life. That was the start of everything. Whenever I lost him, because I loved him. We were together for 10 years before he committed suicide. And that's where it all started for me, when I lost him and I lost everything.
What year was that? What year was that?
2005, I believe.
So that's when you started your drug use?
Yes, ma'am.
You also mentioned that you took domestic violence. That was one of your online courses you mentioned, and you mentioned because I needed it. Can you explain that?
After his death, I got into a bunch of relationships because I felt like I had to have a relationship in order to be okay with myself, and they were not good. They resulted in me in the hospital, and I still kept going back because I wanted to be loved, and I felt like that was the only thing I wanted. I had to have somebody, and so I believed that the domestic violence was needed for me, which is why I chose that.
Yeah. Well, and you know, I too am concerned about. I appreciate you sharing that with us, by the way. I am concerned about your substance abuse treatment. As you said, it was you lost your way. It's been a real problem for you.
Yes.
And for me, I think that's critical that you get some kind of treatment, not just education, but real treatment, so that you have tools to cope with life in general. I realize that you do like you love your job.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure you do a very good job there. It's because they've kept you for as long as they have. But, for me, I'd like to see you get some substance abuse treatment. So I think I don't think there's any other questions. Are you prepared to vote?
No, that would be mine, that she has to have a transfer for substance abuse treatment.
Yeah. So I think we're ready to vote, Ms. Gay.
Ms. Gay, today, I think you certainly are on the right path. And you have wonderful support from your family, and they want to see you succeed. But you need the tools, just like Ms. Renata was talking about.
I agree.
And so you need to be able to be in a DOC long-term substance abuse program, which we offer while you're incarcerated, and that will help you be a success when you get back out on the street. So today, I'm not going to grant you, but I'm going to put on there that I would like to see you transferred where you could get long-term substance abuse treatment.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Ledoux.
With the drug problem since 2005, your need for substance abuse treatment is critical. And I can go about this two ways. I can deny and hope that you get into a program, or I could grant to a program, and that would be conditioned, your release would be conditioned upon completion of that program. And so my vote today would be to grant only to a long-term substance abuse program so that I ensure. But also I want to note that, you've only served 2 of 10. And that's, to me, a very short term. So, I have no problem. You get the help you need. It's the most important thing.
All right, Ms. Gay, I'm glad to see you're agreeable to the substance abuse treatment and understand you need it and it would be a benefit. My vote today would be to grant to a long-term substance abuse program that would also include some pre-release training because that's also a requirement. But today you need a unanimous vote.
Well, I can change. I mean, I didn't think about that. I don't want to hold somebody back for something that I didn't think would be a better option for them. So I want what's best for you and what is best through DOC for you.
Thank you.
So they have more experience in this than I do, and I'm not going to hold somebody back for my lack of knowledge. So I will concur with Ms. Ledoux and Ms. Renanza to see that you get what you're needing. That's all I care about, and that you have a good, fulfilled life.
Thank you.
I would add special conditions, Ms. Gay, after your release and after, you won't be released till you get moved and you go through the intensive program and successfully complete it. But that after you do comply with whatever aftercare plan that program recommends for you, you have to do that. You're to submit to routine random drug screens and maintain full-time employment. You've proven to yourself you can do that, so that shouldn't be a problem. You understand all that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, well, we're gonna give you a shot today. Your parole's been granted with those conditions. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, good morning. The Committee on Parole is now at Caldwell Correctional Center. Today is November 13, 2025, and we have before us Mr. Pounders. Good morning. Y'all are still muted. Can you ask her to unmute the microphone?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Mr. Pounders, would you tell us your name and DOC number, please, sir?
The pound is my DOC number 773-844.
Right, and let me acknowledge, I think you see them on the screen. We have your family members, your father, Mr. James Pounders, and your brother, James Sproul, who are here, and they want to speak on your behalf. And we'll ask them to do so at the appropriate time. First, let me read some identifying information into the record, Mr. Pounders. You are classified as a first felony offender. You're currently serving a 10-year sentence. You were sentenced there in Caldwell Parish in September of 2022 for one count of carnal knowledge of a juvenile. Your parole eligibility date was July 5th, 2023. You don't earn good time, so your full term date is March 6, 2030. Is that information correct?
Yeah.
Okay, before we get started, I need to ask you a question. What's your level of, what grade did you complete in school?
Excuse me, I'm Debbie Weatherford. I'm the transition specialist, DOC transition specialist at Parole. And I would like to add to that he has reading and cognitive issues, and he has stated that he's been in special ed classes, so therefore he's not eligible to have high set classes at this time.
Okay.
I just wanted to add that.
Well, I appreciate it. Thanks for that information. And what about any job skills training, Mr. Pounders?
I don't know how to work, but I ain't really actually have a job, but I know how to work though.
Okay. Well, let me, your case this morning has been assigned to Mrs. Stapleton, seated to my right. Would you answer her questions?
Good morning. I'm gonna ask too. I'm gonna start with a question. In 2023, it was recommended you have the sexual offender treatment class. So, have you had that yet? I don't show that you have.
No, ma'am.
Can the specialist speak to that? Do they offer it where you're at?
They do not offer it where we're at. They do at Franklin Parish, and he is on the backlog waiting list for that program. If the board recommends, I can expedite that.
Well, it looks like it was recommended back in 2023, from what I can read.
Okay, if the board recommends today, I can get in touch with Franklin Parish and see if they can get him on the roster.
Okay, all right. All right, so let's see. So he's had none of his pre-release programming either?
No, he has not.
So no pre-release programming, no sex abuse. Did you have a substance abuse problem, sir? Was that what caused you this? No? Okay. Yeah, I didn't read that you did, so.
And he's not actually eligible for pre-release until his last 6 months per DOC reg.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, tell me what happened and why you think you should get out early.
No, I know until why I did until it was wrong. So it's just, I don't know, I'll never do it again. Inside, I've learned a lot since I've been here. I think a lot. I know what I did wrong. I know I can't think of the past, but all I can do is move forward. Maybe all I can say now.
Well, what do you think? What do you think that your behavior did to your victim?
So I don't know if I was hoping to say she could forgive me for what I did.
Okay, well, we'll get back to all of this later, I guess. All right, so we've got Mr. Spruill here, your brother that would like to speak on your behalf.
How y'all doing this morning?
Fine.
My brother and stuff has disabilities and everything that the court system didn't take into effect. That he was been diagnosed with ADD, ADHD, and a mild retardation back when he was 15 years old. And everything, and a lot of things he's been through and everything, he's been taken advantage of and stuff. He is so gullible. People has taken advantage of him, coerced him into doing things, and all he ever did all his life is play video games and watch movies, everything. And he ain't really never ever tried to hurt anybody in his entire life, everything. My brother wouldn't hurt a fly and stuff, and I don't know what all went on, but he just really wasn't represented right in the first place. And then my brother is just he's changed. I ain't never seen my brother like that and ever. And he's so down to earth and stuff. People just don't understand him like I do. Being the oldest is not easy. And everything. And it's just things changed ever since my mom passed away in 2014. Our mom did, and it's just. But my brother is he's a good man and stuff. He just, something happened that should never happen, and he never really heard of fly or anything in his entire life.
Okay. Do you have any other thing you'd like to say?
No, ma'am. I would love him to come home if possible, because he's pretty much all I have left. My dad's gone and my mom's gone.
Okay. All right, what about Mr. James Pounders? Oh, I'm sorry.
You're still on mute, sir.
Ma'am,
There you go. There you go. Okay, what do you have to say, sir?
well, I'm Joseph's biological father, and I was on the road. I'm a truck driver by trade, and I was on the road when I got the message that my wife passed away. And from that point on, everything went downhill.
Okay.
And like my stepson just said, Joseph wouldn't hurt a fly. And I will stake my life on the line for him. My son shouldn't even be in there where he's at.
Really? You don't think he did anything, huh?
No, ma'am, I do not.
Uh-huh. You have anything else you'd like to say?
Well, I would love for my son to come home. It's all up to y'all whether he should or should not come home. And I just like for y'all to give him a chance.
Okay. All right. Well, I would say that concludes our interview. Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, Mr. Pounders, why don't you tell me some more about what happened that night? You really haven't talked about it.
Read the element that there's a misunderstanding, so something read that happened, so that's all the things she said wasn't true. And so I had to get put in this mess and stuff for something I'm doing. So I'm my brother, my dad did, so I'm insulting her father. So I'm a very diverse person. And so I'm a good person. So, you know, just things broke my life. This is my first time. Ain't been in a place like this. And so I said, you be here. I'm a good person. I'm not just for New York State and so to be better. Just not go to a place like this anymore.
Were y'all in some kind of relationship? Was your brother involved? You know, was there some kind of relationship going on there before? With your brother and everything like that? What's going on there in the household?
And she was, didn't say we were in a relationship, and so that's true, we was in some relationship.
I'm so sorry, I can't hear you. We're gonna ask for instruction to stop, okay?
Yeah, but yeah, so the different, yeah, so we was in a relationship, and so that's true, we was in a relationship.
You were in a relationship?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you were in a relationship. That's what you're saying, right?
Yes, ma'am, so that's true, so I was in a relationship.
Gotta get, I guess, closer to the mic. What?
Yeah, I was in a relationship, and so, with the victim, so that's true, I was dating her.
Okay, all right, so you were dating her, you wanted sex,
Well,
okay?
you went me for that, and so I decided as long as I had no brothers and so girlfriend, that's all. Hanging out as long as I didn't have no girlfriend, I was going to be in a relationship.
Uh-huh.
And so it was going downhill. Didn't work out like I thought.
Yeah.
It didn't work out like I thought it would.
It wasn't going the way you thought it should?
The relationship didn't work out like I thought it would.
Uh-huh.
I thought she was the right one, but I guess I thought it was wrong.
Okay. Well, the way I understand it is, in your police statement, for the plea agreement to be reduced, to felony criminal knowledge of a juvenile in the interview, you did admit to forcibly raping the victim. You admitted that she fought to get away. She cried for you to stop multiple times, but you refused to stop. And you said your reason for doing it is that you were overwhelmed by hormones. So it was, wasn't a mistake. It was something that you did with her saying, please stop. And that's what you admitted to doing in the plea bargain. You understand that?
I understand.
Pardon?
I understand.
You understand? Okay. All right. Based upon that, I don't have any other questions. Anybody else have any questions? Ms. Ledoux, any? Okay, well, today, sir, because, you know, you admitted to the crime and you agreed to the plea bargain, I'm gonna deny your request for parole. Ms. Ledoux?
My vote is to deny parole and recommend that he get some sex offender treatment. And perhaps a mental health evaluation. And that's all.
Mr. Pounders, I agree. It's, you don't seem to have a clear understanding of what happened and the impact it had on the victim. My vote today also is to deny with the same recommendations and hopefully you could get some victim awareness training as well. But today, sir, your parole's been denied. Good luck to you.
Sir, which institution is this? Which institution is this, sir?
This Richland Parish?
Yes, sir.
They, they got you muted now.
All right, parole board, committee on parole is reconvening at Richland Detention Center. Today is November 13th, 2025. Would the staff there at Richland introduce yourself for the record?
Good morning, Sergeant Frank Kevin from Richland Parish Detention Center.
All right, thanks, Sergeant, for accommodating us this morning. And we have before us Mr. Holmes. Good morning.
Yes, ma'am.
You introduce yourself. Tell us your name and DOC number.
My name is Ricardo Holmes, DOC number 591660.
All right, yes, sir, that's what I have. So, Mr. Holmes, I'm going to read some identifiers into the record and ask you to confirm if it's true or not.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
are classified as a third felony offender. You're currently serving a 3-year sentence for domestic abuse battery. You were sentenced in Caddo Parish, March 19 of 24. So your parole eligibility date was December 25th of 2025. Your
Yes.
full-time release date is September 25th of 2026. Is all that true?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Your case was assigned to Mrs. Ledoux this morning. Would you answer her questions? You'll see her on the screen.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, Mr. Holmes.
Good morning.
This reminds me of being back in school, but I would like to begin with, can you give me a definition for what it means domestic abuse battery? What is your understanding of that?
It's when it's when a couple or family members are fighting and abusive to one another.
Okay. If I read your criminal history correctly, this is possibly your 7th time to have charges for domestic abuse battery.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know how concerning that is?
Yes, ma'am.
Significant concerns.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Holmes, in 2019, you were on supervision, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
What happened during that supervision?
I completed it and was off of it.
You sure about that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Ricardo Holmes has an extensive criminal history with prior felony conviction for accessory after the fact to armed robbery. There is overwhelming opposition to him. So you have an overwhelming opposition to your parole. So you tell me, why would, after me bringing these things up, why would this be a good time for you to be released early?
All right. I like to send my apology to Shayla and her family and my mother and kids. I understand that I had in my past life an anger and drug problem that was not only destroying me, but destroying my family and loved ones around me. there's no excuses for the wrong I've done. I was wrong. I come from a family that raised me better than that. I never really got help until I got into these classes and programs. I have an ill grandmother, a mother, and 4 kids that need me to be the man that I was, and I will be better and better myself. These classes that I've been taking in these programs really helped me. Thanking for a change, relapse prevention, and life healing choices. All of those really helped me. I have I have I have jobs that's also just waiting for me. And when I get out, I would like to join any treatment classes in a church to stay focused. My mother, she was also she talked to Miss Owens. She wanted to participate, but the link she couldn't find a link to participate in. We just got through talking to her.
Well, I do agree that the classes that you're taking are wonderful. I mean, it's unfortunate that some people have to go to prison to get that kind of service, but that is fact. And you still have some programs within the STEP program that you can complete. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. I completed Thanking for a Change. I completed Intro to Treatment, Life Healing Choices, AANA, and I also completed Delta Community College, NCCER, and got my forklifting license.
Mhm. Are there more classes that they have for you to take there?
Well, this month I will be through with parenting, relapse prevention, and Cajun rage.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Holmes, I'm just going to be just really upfront and let you know that I have such significant concerns, okay, especially with your history. I'm glad that you're getting the programming you're getting, but this is we have a problem in Louisiana with domestic abuse battery.
Yes, ma'am.
We really do. And so I have some major concerns. I'll listen to your answers to my colleagues' questions, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Don't have any questions, Mrs.
I
Secretary?
do. Well, to continue on with what Ms. Ledoux was talking to you about, we actually consistently rank between 1 and 5 in the nation with deaths due to domestic violence and pregnancy. That's the #1 cause of death in the state of Louisiana is domestic violence. So when she said we got a problem, we got a problem.
Yes, ma'am.
And you got a problem because you've been doing this for a long time. So you're writing checks with your fist on women's faces that you can't cash. Somebody else is having to pay for it. All right, because I mean, I read all of this and look, when the police got there, there was heavy bleeding occurring from her nose. The injuries to her face, you hit her in the face with your fist multiple times, and all because you were just mad because you're not going to come home whenever you want.
But there wasn't it really didn't go like that. It wasn't even me and her wasn't even together. Me and her both was under the influence of drugs at that time, and her face got slammed in the door.
Oh, look, you know what? Mm-mm. No, you have a history of this. The police was there. Your mother even said that you have a history of abuse to her. Now, she's your mother and she's gonna love you no matter what. So I get that, but no. Mm-mm. So this was the report, multiple facial injuries, including nasal bone fracture, facial contusion, and severe head injuries. That's not a door. So that was not the truth. And you have previous. So at some point, you're the kind of person that we have to worry about that somebody's gonna end up in the morgue. And we're gonna get a phone call for something like that. Now they let you do a guilty plea to domestic abuse battery with serious injury. And they took away the one that was second offense. So you got less than what you deserve. Now, let me ask you something. Have you had, like you just now said that you wanted to tell your victim that you're sorry. Have you had any contact with your victim while you've been in jail?
No, man,
Have
her and my mother still communicate with each other.
Uh-huh.
She was also staying with my mother at the time, and I told my mother to let her know that I was sorry,
Uh-huh.
because her kids still look up to me.
You have any contact with her children
Through my mother.
through your mother? So they don't call you directly into the jail?
No, ma'am.
No. Um, you may not know this or not, and I'm sure your mother doesn't. There's not even supposed to be third-party contact with your victim.
Okay.
That's not supposed to happen. Anything that has to do with your victim is supposed to go through either the DA's office
Yes,
or DOC. So they have a program that's called, you can write an accountability letter if you want to tell her you're sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
Or can do something through DOC where you meet and there's people with you when that happens.
Yes,
But not even third-party communication. She's supposed to be free and clear of even thinking about you. So I hope that while you're in jail, she may be listening to this, or your mother may be listening to this, that she will go to a domestic violence shelter and seek counseling, because she could get that. She can get free through the Crime Victims Reparations Program. Now, I noticed when I was reading your case that there was court costs put to you for restitution by the judge. Was there any restitution put on you that you have to pay back for the medical expenses for what was done to her face, the injuries to her face?
No, ma'am, not that what I know of.
Any idea how much that must have cost? I mean, she had a broken nose, she had facial contusions, stuff like that.
I highly apologize, ma'am. I was wrong. There's no excuses for it, ma'am. I was wrong.
But you got a track record of being wrong.
Yes, ma'am.
And you don't have much time. You're gonna be out. You only got 3 years for this.
I needed help, and I finally got the help I needed. I didn't know I needed help at that time, and then I finally got it, ma'am.
Have you been involved in a domestic violence offender treatment program there through DOC?
No, ma'am, but the classes that I've taken, it really helped me. It really helped me think for myself and think for others, and how to overcome any negative situation, ma'am.
Well, that's very specific, and they have it at different facility that's there. And because we rank so highly in the nation with homicides, I know DOC is trying hard to make sure that y'all get that treatment, and that's what you need while you're in there. It's the Duluth model, and I'm very familiar with it. And it is specific for domestic violence, which is different from anger management.
Yes,
So that's going to be my recommendation, that you get into a DOC domestic violence offender program. You know now, because I guess you didn't know before, you're not to have any contact with your victim, even telling your mama to tell her this, that, or the other.
Yes, ma'am.
That's off the table.
I would like to join, even when I go home, I would like to join any treatment classes too as well to stay focused when I enter society. I have a daughter and a mother, and I really
Yes.
understand that it's wrong for a man to put his hands on a woman. And it took for me to come to jail and take these classes to know what was going on. And I have an ill grandmother and 4 kids and a mother that really need me out there to be the man that I was, to help them.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. That's what I'm on. That's my side. I'm a board member, victims advocate.
Yes,
So I have a history, and I have expertise in comprehensive victims advocacy. So I had ladies in my office that were beat in the face, like what you're talking about, and it ended up cracking their eye bone and their jawbone and their nose, and they had to have facial reconstruction. So, this thing can turn deadly in an instant. So you're saying the right things, and I think if we get you transferred to where you can get the domestic violence treatment, just like we would for substance abuse, same kind of thing. That'll help you out a lot. And then, like you said, if you continue the program when you get out, that'll continue to help you. And I'm glad that you have seen your own child's face when you think about this, because that's where it goes to.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much.
I think we're prepared to vote, Mrs. Ledoux.
I am. Mr. Holmes, I certainly appreciate your understanding that and your respect during this interview. I know that you have acknowledged you have some work to do. My vote today is to deny, but not to discourage you, but to allow you to continue to finish the programs and maximize your time. I believe that if you continue with the right mindset, you're going to go home a much better man. So, but my vote is to deny today.
And I concur with Ms. Ledoux, everything that she just said. My vote is to deny, but I would like, I'm going to put on there, I don't know if they'll do it or not, but there is a 16-week program for domestic violence offender program. So I hope that's something that you would want to take advantage of if you can get transferred to a facility that would offer that for you.
Mr. Holmes, I'm enthusiastic about you, about your, the program participation. And you really, you don't get good time. So you're taking those programs because you want to, and you're getting something out of it. And I appreciate that. So I do agree. My vote today is going to be to deny. I think you got some more work to do. And, you need to initiate a request yourself to be, can I be transferred to a place that offers that program? We do have them. They're in local jails. They're in DOC, but you got to ask. Good luck to you, sir. All right, good morning. Committee on Parole is now at Raymond Laborde Correctional Center. Warden, would you and your staff introduce yourselves, please?
Good morning. I'm Deputy Warden Nikki Shinbear.
All right, and
Melissa Joshua Records.
we have Mr. Esparza this morning. So we have an interpreter, Mr. Juan Gerardo. Would you introduce yourself for the record, sir?
Yes, good morning, everyone. My name is Juan Girado, and I'm going to be the English-Spanish interpreter in this hearing.
Thank you. So,
You're welcome.
Mr. Esparza, could you please give us your name and DOC number?
Señora Esparza, ¿nos podría dar, por favor, su nombre y su número de DOC?
Mi nombre es Manuel Esparza. El número es 762006.
Correct.
So my name is Manuel Esparza, and the number is 762006.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Mr. Gerardo, I'm going to read some information into the record to get him. It's just identifying information, but I will need him to verify that it's correct. So I'll try to go slow so you can get it all.
Ahora, señor Esparza, lo que van a hacer es leer cierta información que tiene que ver con su identificación personal. Básicamente, se va a leer de manera lenta y lo que usted tiene que hacer más que nada es confirmar esto o no. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Esparza is classified as a first felony offender, serving an 8-year sentence for 2 counts of molestation of a juvenile, sentenced in July of 2021. His parole date is November 20, 2023, with a full term date March 21st, 2029. Is that information correct?
Vamos a ver si esta información es correcta. Usted ha sido condenado por un delito en primer grado, ¿no? Por tener conductas de acoso sexual con menores de edad y tiene esta sentencia. Esto ocurrió en julio de 2021 y tenía como fecha la de noviembre de 2023, donde podía recibir libertad bajo palabra, lo que se llama parole, y para marzo 21 de 2029 sería la fecha de el cumplimiento pleno de su sentencia. ¿Es correcto?
Correcto.
Yes, that is correct.
Thank you. So we need Mr. Esparza to tell us the reason he's in jail. What did he do, and why does he believe he needs to be released early?
Entonces necesitamos, señor Esparza, que usted nos cuente el motivo por el cual se encuentra en este momento en prisión, qué es lo que hizo y por qué considera que deberían darle una liberación más temprana, ¿no?
Bueno, en primer lugar, porque estoy arrepentido de lo que hice y más que nada ver a mi mamá.
¿Y por qué está usted en prisión?
Por la falta esa que cometí y fue un error. Yo reconozco que fue un error y estoy muy arrepentido.
Well, more than anything, you know, the reason why he thinks he should be released earlier is that he's, you know, very, very sorry. He truly regrets what he did. And the second reason is that he would love to see his mother. So when I asked him again what was the reason why he was in jail, he told me, well, the reason why I was convicted, that felony, and again, I know it was a mistake. I truly acknowledge and recognize it was a mistake.
Thank you. So at this time, we'd like to ask Warden Chenevert, is there anything that you can tell us about Manuel?
Not a whole lot. He's only been here since September 22nd of this year. I spoke to him a little bit yesterday. He can communicate with English to a really good extent. We had a good conversation. He just needs risk management and he doesn't have any educational programs. He doesn't have a GED or any kind of education that he could speak of. So that would be my only recommendation, is that he gets some of that before he would be released.
Thank you.
Bueno, no sé si usted, señor Esparza, entendió lo que le dijo la Warden Genevieve, pero que usted está allí desde el 22 de septiembre de 2025, que no ha tenido mucho contacto con usted, pero que habló ayer y que de todas maneras usted puede comunicarse en idioma inglés, que fue una buena conversación y que por ahí, antes de que se produjera esta liberación, sería bueno que, ya que su nivel de educación no es muy elevado, que usted recibiera una cierta educación o capacitación.
Ok, correcto.
Correct.
So at this time, we'd like to hear from Maria Esparza, Manuel's niece.
Nos gustaría entonces en este momento escuchar a María Esparza respecto de Manuel, de cómo es y de sus necesidades y demás.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
Maria,
Yes, this is Maria.
what would you like us to know?
¿Qué le gustaría, María, informarle? Usted lo va a hacer en inglés, ¿verdad, María?
Yes, I speak English.
Okay, thank you.
I'm for him going up for parole. That's as long as he, I see that he knows that he made a mistake and he regrets his decision. So I am for that parole. And that's really all I have to say about it.
Lo que ha dicho María, señor Esparza, brevemente, es que ella ve el error y reconoce que usted también reconoce dicho error y por ende ella está en favor de que se le otorgue esta libertad bajo palabra.
Está bien.
Okay, yes.
We also have another victim, Christina Garay, who is on the Zoom but does not wish to speak, but she is observing.
Tenemos también a otra víctima que es Cristina Garay, que está en Zoom, pero no desea hablar, simplemente está presenciando esta audiencia.
Okay.
So I would like Mr. Esparza to tell us how many victims he has.
Señor Esparza, ¿usted nos podría decir cuántas víctimas atacó o molestó?
No, ese fue el primer error y es el último.
That was my first mistake and it's the last one.
The record disputes his answer. There are clearly numerous victims.
Un poco se cuestiona su respuesta porque dicen que hay más víctimas, no víctimas nuevas.
No, eso no es cierto.
That is not true.
Okay, thank you. According to my understanding of current law, Mr. Esparza currently is not eligible for parole consideration because he does not meet the educational requirements or and he doesn't have, I don't think he has the pre-release requirement either.
No,
So-
he just got into pre-release recently.
Okay. So would you relay that information, Mr. Gerardo, to
Sure. Un poco la decisión en este momento del tribunal es que usted en este momento no es elegible, no califica para ser beneficiado con la libertad bajo palabra o parole, porque, bueno, no tiene, principalmente porque no tiene el grado de educación requerido para el mismo y consideran que tampoco todavía tiene entonces dicho privilegio en este momento. ¿Sí?
Está bien.
Madam Chair,
Okay.
Yes, ma'am, Ms. Ledoux.
I'd like to ask a question. I see that Mr. Esperanza, whatever,
Esparza.
was born in Mexico. How did he obtain his citizenship? And how long has he been in Louisiana?
Señor Esparza, lo que preguntan aquí es que, bueno, usted nació en México. ¿Cómo obtuvo la ciudadanía y cuánto tiempo hace que está en Luisiana?
Desde el 1979.
¿Ese es el año en que obtuvo la ciudadanía o en que llegó a Luisiana o a los Estados Unidos?
Llegué a Luisiana y la ciudadanía la tuve hace como 4 años.
Okay, so what he says in a nutshell is that since 1979, and so I asked him whether that was the year when he got to Louisiana or when he obtained the US citizenship. Well, the answer is that he got to Louisiana in 1979 and that he got the US citizenship 4 years ago.
La tarjeta verde, perdón, la tarjeta verde la tomé en el 1986.
And he got the green card in 1986.
Okay, so as a legal permanent resident, which is the green card, you're supposed to have a working ability to communicate in English.
Como un residente legal, se supone que usted tendría que tener la capacidad funcional de poder comunicarse en inglés. Yes, my apologies, I interrupted you.
No, that's good. That's good.
Okay, you were going to continue, please.
So why are we having to have an interpreter at this point? It's just a question.
Es una pregunta, ¿no? ¿Por qué, si usted se supone que tendría que poder hablar en inglés, por qué necesitamos de un intérprete?
Oh, perdón, porque pues mi pregunta es porque este es un caso muy importante para mí y pues podía cometer un error, o sea, de no entender algo, malentendido o algo así. Y pero yo le entiendo casi el 90% del inglés y le hablo con un 80%.
Well, my apologies for this. You know, this is a very important case for me. So, you know, I wanted to prevent any error or mistake whatsoever or misunderstanding mostly. But, you know, I understand almost 90% of what you say, and I can produce or speak at an 80%.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate your work as a translator and helping me understand why we were doing this today.
My
Thank you.
pleasure. Bueno, ahí me agradece, señor Esparza, por este trabajo, básicamente. Usted lo habrá entendido.
Okay, well, his 90 and 80% will work just fine for what I have a victim request. She sent in a letter, Ms. Garay, and of course I can't read it all. I'm not gonna be able to, but she's listening. And this is what she wanted to say. She said, if you guys are unable to read this letter in its entirety to Manuel, please feel free to read this to him. It's Kissy. I told on you. So I wanted to do that for her. That's it.
No sé si ahí pudo ver usted hay una de las víctimas, ¿no? Que no quiere hablar, pero al menos escribió una carta para que fuera leída muy brevemente. Could you please just read the last line again?
Sure.
Of Mrs.
So-
Garay. Garay is right.
It's, yes, she said, please feel free to read this to him. It's Kissy. That's her, I guess, her nickname. I told on you. She got her voice as a victim, and she wanted him to know that.
Nos decía que nos sintiéramos libres, ¿no? de leerle estas líneas a usted y que básicamente como que usted tiene como esa costumbre de besar o algo por el estilo.
All right, I'll be voting first. Mr. Esparza, my vote today is to deny your parole because you do not meet the eligibility required by Louisiana law.
El primer voto entonces, señor Esparza, es de denegarle la libertad bajo palabra porque usted no califica, no es elegible de acuerdo a la legislación de Luisiana.
Mrs. Ledoux?
My vote is to not deny based on that as well as law enforcement and victim opposition.
En el caso de la señora Ledoux también utiliza los mismos argumentos y le suma a ello la oposición de las víctimas.
Mrs. Stapleton?
And my vote is to concur based upon that and judicial law enforcement and strong victim opposition from all.
Y en el caso de la señora Tai también está de acuerdo con los dos votos anteriores y además de la no elegibilidad y demás y oposición de las víctimas es también por el tema de hacer cumplir la ley.
Está bien.
So, his parole
It's okay.
today.
I mean, Mr. Esparza says that it's okay.
Thank you. Warden Chenevert, that concludes our business at your facility. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Parado.
My pleasure. Bueno, y con esto se concluye entonces la audiencia del día de hoy, señor Esparza.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much.
All right, good morning. Committee on Parole is now at West Baton Rouge. Would you turn on your camera, please? Good morning. You're still on mute. Can you see the unmute button? It looks like a microphone. There you go. I think you got it. So are you Mr. Cipriano?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there anybody in the room with you or are you by yourself?
I'm by myself.
Okay. So would you introduce yourself? Tell us your name and DOC number.
My name is Lester Cipriano. DOC number is 585060.
All right, Mr. Cipriano, we have joining us today a representative from the District Attorney's Office in Jefferson Parish, and we'll ask for his comments shortly. But let me read some identifying information into the record. You are classified as a fourth felony offender. You're currently serving a 5-year sentence. You were sentenced in June of 2022 in Jefferson Parish. Possession of fentanyl, illegal possession of stolen things, theft of $500 or more. And then you have a later sentencing date in August of 22, simple criminal damage to property, and as a habitual offender, theft $500 or more. All of those sentences are running at the same time, so the total is 5 years. Your parole eligibility date was September 8th of 2023, and your good time release date is June 14, 2026. Does all that sound right?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is a rehearing. You were seen in August of 2024.
Yes,
And,
ma'am.
and at that time you were denied because of your you needed substance abuse help. So since that hearing in August of 24, have you been able to get any substance abuse assistance?
I got victim impact and I got some more AA,
Classes, or
Yeah.
you just to those AA, meetings?
meetings. I got some more certificates.
Yeah, I don't think I saw those. Are you in work release?
Yes, ma'am.
So how long you been in work release?
4 months.
Where do you work?
I work at Tony's Seafood.
Okay, and that's your kind of your background. You're in the seafood at home. You're in the seafood industry.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What did you get out of the victim impact training?
I got how victims are after they get victimized by things, and that made me feel very sad for them. I felt, I learned a lot from that class because that gave me a pain, that showed me how people are after they've been victimized. It
You
was
had
just
never
so
given that in
sad.
thought? You never gave that a thought before you went to that class?
Yes, I did, but not as much as when I seen them on video and seen the pain that was going through them. And I think God has touched my heart since I've been here because I surrendered myself to Him because, I knew I wasn't doing the right things out there. So I needed help. I needed to turn to God. Everybody needs God in their life. And I feel that He's been helping me go through this every day of my life. And I pray every day that I get better because I don't want to, I'm tired of being who I was. I don't want to be that way no more. I'm just, prison has saved my life and it saved my soul.
Yeah, so listen, when I mentioned earlier, you're a fourth felony offender. And I see that you completed your prior sentence in 2015. And so 7 years later, you got this new charge. What happened? You were doing well, it seemed, but what happened?
Well, my brother had passed away on me, and I just kind of, I guess, fell off the wagon, you would call it. I started using more drugs, and, I just wasn't on my right mind when I started taking things that I wasn't supposed to.
And that was to support the drugs?
Yes, ma'am. Now that I have a clear mind, I look back and I feel shameful for what I did. I just,
You knew all your victims, did you not?
yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So when you, I guess before you relapsed, how did you deal with your drug addiction, or did you always continue to use? Then you just started stealing to support it.
Well, I was on boats, and I've always been a fisherman. I always worked, and I supported my habit that way. But after the storm, Ida, it just things laid back, and I guess I just relapsed real bad, and and I know the devil was just trying to put something else in my mind, and because I wasn't like praying to God, I wasn't with God until I got incarcerated, and then when I got incarcerated, that's when I surrendered myself to Him.
It's good to hear. A lot of people find God in prison and they leave him at the door when they leave.
Right.
So let me ask you this. Do you think you could benefit? I mean, I'm glad you're in work release and I'm glad you seem to be doing well there, but do you think you could really benefit from some substance abuse treatment? I know that it was recommended to you in August of last year. You were at the Raymond Laborde facility. You said you went to AA, but I'm talking a more intense substance abuse treatment program. Could you benefit from that?
Yes, ma'am. I even tried to go to the BOSSIER. For some reason, they didn't want me to go, and I had signed up for every class they had in Raymond Laborde. But as I was working on a road crew, they would not put me in classes because they wanted us to work.
Right.
For some reason, they thought the working was better than us going to classes and rehabilitating ourselves.
I understand. So I'm going to defer to my colleagues. Well, first, Mr. Meyer, is there any remarks you'd like to make for us?
Yes, ma'am. Thanks. Randall Meyer, Assistant DA, Jefferson Parish. Following his August 22 hearing where additional substance abuse treatment was recommended, and that was the reason each of the 3 panel members denied him, he hadn't taken anything. So I don't think he's deserves to get the benefit of being released on parole today. Just reading between the lines from what you're stating, Ms. Renats, it sounds like you're looking to send him to a long-term treatment facility, program, which, we think he needs. We think that's, one of the tools that he needs to maybe not come back again. When you look at his criminal record, he's got methamphetamine, crack, marijuana, fentanyl. Clearly has a significant problem that he needs some help. And if he gets out without getting that treatment, I'm sure we'll see him again. So we would agree that a treatment program would be beneficial for him.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Ms. Ledoux, you were on his last panel. Do you have any questions or comments?
The denial last time also, he had not served very much time on his sentence, but I think at this point in his incarceration, a decision to ensure that he gets his long-term substance abuse program would be an appropriate decision.
Any questions? I agree with you. All right, Mr. Cipriano, I think at least I have a plan for you. You get out in what, June of next year, which isn't that far away. And I want to ensure, I agree 100% with the district attorney. And you yourself have said you could benefit from a substance abuse treatment program. And so the only way I can ensure you get that is if I vote to grant you parole today, but after you complete the DOC substance abuse program. And then once you are released, you comply with whatever their aftercare treatment plan is for you. That could be, continuing outpatient classes or participation in AA meetings, which you said you've done. So that's my vote. Mrs. Ledoux?
I concur, Ms. Renatza, but I would also like to note in the record that he have increased random drug screens, just knowing that it can be done at any time without suspicion. Hopefully will keep him on the right path.
Good, thank you. Mrs. Stapleton?
I concur with both my colleagues.
All right, Mr. Cipriano, so we're going to grant you parole, but we're going to send you to a treatment program first.
Okay, how long that's gonna be?
I don't know. They decided, but it's going to get you close to your good time date for sure.
Okay,
All right, good luck to you, sir.
thank you.
All right, Committee on Parole is now at Bossier Medium Security Facility, and we have Mr., is it RYMEL?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, let me ask the officer there in the room with you to introduce themselves for the record.
Hey, our officer stepped out for a second, then Deputy Danford will be back in just a second, and then I'm Jason Johnson, one of the program managers at C4.
Well, you're who we want to talk to anyway. All right, thank you. So, Mr. RYMEL, would you introduce yourself? Tell us your name and DOC number.
My name is Jamie Dwayne Rymel. My DOC number is 750040.
Yes, sir. And we have your brother Jason is on the Zoom with us. We're going to ask for his comments short.
Yes.
You did this process before, so you know how it works. So I'm just going to jump right in. Mr. RYMEL, you're classified as a first felony offender. You're currently serving a 10-year sentence. You were sentenced there in Bossier Parish in December 2019 for carnal knowledge of a juvenile. Your parole eligibility was March 30th, 2023, and your full term date is December 1st, 2029. Is that information correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So this morning, your case was assigned to Mrs. Ledoux. Would you answer her questions?
Okay.
Mr. RYMEL, I've read the report, but you know what? There's just seems to be some conflicting information within the report in my mind. I want you to tell me what happened in this situation.
Okay, so honestly, I found myself in a situation that honestly I shouldn't have been in. And instead of doing what I could to actually get out of the situation, I let it progress, and I shouldn't have done that. I've made some major mistakes with this, and I don't know what else I can do to rectify it other than pretty much do what I've been doing, and it's accepting that I've made a mistake. And I don't know, I let myself be drawn into this situation by not taking care of it. And I don't know how else to explain it. I really don't.
You're talking in very nebulous terms.
Yes. Okay.
You're saying things that you think I want to hear. You're taking responsibility.
I'm really nervous, and I'm sorry about that.
I understand. I mean, it's a critical day for you, but did you take advantage of a young lady who was living in a house with you?
Yes, ma'am, I did. I did.
Okay. And it was your choice to take advantage of this person.
Yes, I can't blame this on anybody else but myself because I made the choice. So yes.
Okay. I needed to hear that. After this was over, are you currently married?
Yes, ma'am.
And when you leave incarceration, where will you go live?
Okay, so when I leave incarceration, I have a couple different options, as long as, of course, it's approved. I have family and I do have friends, but of course, to leave, I also have to have an address approved, so it depends on that. There are other options that I've looked into, as far as places that accept people with sex offender cases that might help me with the place to live until I get back to working at my own place if I need to. My wife currently is living in Oklahoma, so that's not somewhere I'm trying to go anyway.
You want to go to Oklahoma?
No, ma'am.
So you will not reunite with your wife?
I don't know. I haven't talked to her in about a year and a half.
Okay. So if I'm reading your record correctly, you have completed the Steve Hoyle program.
Yes, ma'am.
And you've taken all phases of sex offender treatment. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me about your educational background and where you are in that.
You mean before I came to jail?
Do you have a high school degree?
I have a GED, ma'am, and I did some college, but I never completed anything in it.
Okay. What type of work did you do when you were on the streets?
I am a CDL driver, man. I decided some years back to go and get my CDL.
And recognizing the limitations of travel and things like that while
Yes.
you're incarcerated, what type of work would you do?
There's lots of different options as far as driving cement trucks or delivery trucks. There's plenty of options out there for me. I know that there are limitations of what I can and cannot do as far as maybe going over the road or anything while on parole or something. And I'm okay with following any limitations that are set that I need to do. I do know that there are plenty of opportunities out there for employment for what I do for a living. It's just getting out and getting to it.
Okay. One thing that you have not mentioned much is what are your feelings about the impact of your crime on your victim?
Okay, this is something that it's really hard to talk about. And I do know that there was a time where I didn't want to admit to myself more than anything the impact that it did have. But I've come to realize, especially after the couple of years I've done of watching other people struggle in the program with what they've actually done as well, is that I've come to realize I have hurt my victim as well as other people in the process. It's not just my victim that I've hurt, it's my family, it's everybody involved, everybody that knows my victim, everybody that knows me. I don't want that to be the case. I'm extremely sorry for what I've done. And I don't know how else to say that except for, I mean, I can't just go up to the person and ask them for forgiveness. And I know that. But what I can do is I can continue to work on myself and I can continue to try hard. And if I am granted parole, I do plan to keep this up. Anything that I need to do, I will do.
Okay. It was one of the concerns in your last hearing is that you did not take responsibility.
So I have been facilitating the program for the past 2 years. And
Which program? Which program?
The program, ma'am.
Okay.
Mr. Johnson here, he's my teacher currently. While doing the program, like I said, I've actually seen other people either refuse to even want to be part of it, and then I've seen people who really take a step forward. And doing the work as a facilitator, I have to actually understand the material a lot more than what I actually did originally. And with doing that, it's actually made me have to reflect on my own stuff, because I have to understand the material to be able to teach it to somebody else. And it made me actually reflect on everything that I've done and how others could possibly feel about it. I honestly tried to deny my crime at one point. I've tried to blame other people for what I've done. I can't do that. I can't deny or blame or justify what I've done. All I can do is move past this and try really hard to not ever let something like this happen.
There's still some impact on your victim, though. I want you to know
Yes.
that there is opposition. Jason RYMEL, your brother, is wishing to speak on your behalf, and at this time, this would be an appropriate segue. Mr. RYMEL. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Directly, I feel that my brother has made major strides, especially since his last parole hearing. I wasn't able to be part of it due to my job. My wife and my sister stepped in for him, and about a year ago, I actually have watched that parole hearing, and I completely agreed with at that time for my brother to be denied parole. I agreed with a lot that you said, that during that time, he did not take accountability for his own actions. I honestly feel like now he is taking accountability, that he realizes that he allowed a situation that he shouldn't have ever allowed. I also do know that I feel that he is not the same guy he was back then. I think that if given the chance for parole, that y'all would never see him make a similar mistake like he did before. I've definitely, being a Christian man myself, having raised two daughters, this is something that's directly hard for me, because if something of this nature was to ever happen with my daughters, it would be life altering for me. And so I can take the stance of what the girl possibly went through, being that I have two daughters, one that just started college and one that's turned 16 this weekend. But directly, I think that he's in better shape now to be granted parole than what he was in the past.
Okay. Your comments are appreciated. Thank you. I will defer to my colleagues.
Thank you. Mrs. Stapleton.
Yeah, I just want to remind you that while you are in jail, that I know you said you have a wife also, that there is not to be any contact with your previous victim by way of yourself or your wife. No third party, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So if that's going on, it needs to stop right now.
No.
So, and then like Ms. Ledoux said, I read that you have opposition, judicial and law enforcement, and then of course the victim also. That's all I have to say.
Mr. Johnson, Jason, can you tell us about Mr. RYMEL?
Sure. He actually completed Steve Hoyle and the sex offender program probably about 2 years ago, prior to his previous hearing. And since then, he has been going and tutoring basically for our group. I've only been at this location now maybe 5 months or so, but I don't think Mr. RYMEL might have been there more than I've been there. He has never missed a class. He always is helpful. And he does take like a leadership role in making sure that the other offenders, really understand what we're talking about. So that has been very helpful.
Good, thank you. So, Mr. RYMEL, what do you think it was that triggered you to finally accept your responsibility in the crime that you committed and not put the blame elsewhere?
Honestly, I've been here 6 years and I've seen many different people come in, and I've seen the same thing from most people that come in. And it is a big thing of people denying what they've actually done, or they try to justify what they've done. They try to deny what they've done. It doesn't matter if it's drugs or a case like mine. I see it all the time, and I don't want to be that person. I know I made mistakes, and I'm glad to accept those mistakes that I've made, because I can't be better myself if I'm not willing to accept my mistakes in general. And seeing other people come in and they leave and they come back, that's not who I want to be. That's not what I want to do. I would like to be able to get out and do the right thing and make the best effort that I can.
All right. And what is your plan?
My original plan is, of course, my license back and go back to work.
Right.
I plan to pretty much spend as much time with my family as I can, because that's been the hardest part about being in here.
Well, that means your brother and his family, because you say you're not going to Oklahoma.
No, I'm not going to Oklahoma. My brother actually lives in Texas. I do have family here in Louisiana too, my sister.
Oh.
But I will be in Louisiana as long as it takes until I can finally go be reunited with my brother in person. But I've got things I need to take care of first.
Like what?
I have to get my registry.
Like what?
I have an entire list that I've actually comprised of things that I need to do. I need to get back to work. I need to get my student loans back in order. I need to work on myself. I need my own place to stay. I need to make it to where I'm self-reliable again and I don't have to rely on other people to help me. It's an important thing in my life, and it always has been, that I've been able to take care of myself. Being here, I have not been able to do that. And I've had to rely on others. I would like to be able to pay my brother back for all the help that he's given me. I would like to pay my sister back for all the help she's given me.
So you're going to live with your sister for just a week?
That is the plan, as long as the address is approved.
Where does she live? What
She lives
area?
in Bossier.
Okay. Where's she at today? Where is she at today?
I don't know. I haven't been able to get a hold of her. So I wasn't able to let her know when the hearing was.
So, I would prefer that you go to Texas.
I would love to go to Texas, and that would be my first option, if I can. But I also have to have a place to go. And from what I've been told, and I know not all the information that I've been given is correct, because a lot of the information I get is from inmates, but unless I have a family member to live with, I wouldn't be approved. And my brother, I can't live at his house right now because he still has a daughter that lives there.
Right.
And so, I mean, if I can get out and get my stuff started, then I know that I can afford to go whenever I can get it approved. As a truck driver, I know I make enough money to be able to do that. But I just need the opportunity to be able to get my finances started in order so I can get my own place. I would love to go to Texas. It's where my heart is, where my family truly is.
Right. Well, all right. I don't see that there are any more questions, and I'll do my vote first. I have concerns about you. You're saying some good things. I'm glad you have finally accepted your responsibility. Unfortunately, it took a while, but you did. And you did. You've done the Steve Hall program. You've done the sex offender treatment. Have you taken a pre-release program?
No, ma'am. They didn't have one here, but they just added one to the facility.
So listen, based on you did the programs, you're helping facilitate the program. I really wish you could go to Texas now. I understand the situation with your brother is not an option for you. I wish your sister was here so she could verify, but I'm gonna vote to grant your parole after an approved residence plan, and that's a challenge. With special conditions that you have a curfew and you comply with any aftercare treatment program that was recommended by the Steve Hall program.
The reentry program?
Well, you got to complete that first.
Yes, ma'am. That's fine.
The Steve Hall program, the substance abuse aftercare program, whatever it is they recommended that you do, you have to do it.
I've already done.
You don't need to say anything. That's just a condition. I got to do it. All right, Ms. Ledoux.
Mr. RYMEL, at your last hearing, you failed to take responsibility, and I appreciated what Jason said. You have now taken responsibility. You have taken the programs that are necessary to see that you go back correctly into society with the right mindset. My vote is going to be to grant conditional upon completion of the pre-release program with you will be on a max. I would request a maximum supervision by the probation and parole officers, regardless of what the risk assessment shows. I would like to have you on max supervision, which means you will be reporting much more frequently. And that's my vote today.
Mrs. Stapleton?
You do know that you have victim, law enforcement, and DA total opposition, right? This, you or nobody connected with you as to have any contact with your victim. So based upon what Ms. Renata says and Ms. Ledoux recommended, I will grant release under those conditions.
You understand all that? You still got a little work to do?
Yes, ma'am.
Good luck to you. Sorry, your parole's been granted.
Thank you.
All right, good morning. Yeah, we're still morning. Is this Mr. Williams? You're still on mute. Can you just ask Mr. Jason to unmute it or somebody?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning.
Good morning. So let me just be sure I got the right Mr. Williams. What's your DOC number?
55 31 36.
So Mr. Rene Williams is classified as a second felony offender, serving a 25-year sentence, sentenced in Jefferson Parish in March of 2013, possession of a firearm by convicted felon as a habitual offender, possession with intent to distribute heroin. Your parole date was December 18, 2018, and your good time date is January 22nd, 2037. Is that correct information, Mr. Williams?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so you were granted parole in November of 2024 upon completion of the that Steve Hoyle program, which you completed in August of 2025. And your parole had to be rescinded because you didn't have a approved residence plan within the time frame within which that parole was valid. So
Yes.
that's why we're here today, to try to have a new hearing.
Yes, ma'am.
So your case is assigned to Mrs. Stapleton, so she'll take the lead on it.
Okay, good morning, sir. Well, based upon the only problem was the residence plan. So I'm going to grant today with approval, with an approved residence plan. And the special condition is going to be that you follow the Steve Hoyle aftercare plan. You understand? Okay. That's my vote.
Mrs. Ledoux?
Mr. Williams, you're before us. You don't have any disciplinary reports while you were at Steve Hoyle, I guess, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
You did. What did you learn from that program?
I learned how to be patient and stay away from drugs and continue to, go out there in the world and be a bigger inspiration to the younger generation. I learned a lot from Mr. Johnson, who's over the program, the short period of time I have known him. He's been good to me. He has been helpful. And this is a great program, It's for those who, want to really get something out of it, you want to complete it. Well, I learned a lot. And I think I'm going to be able to stay out of jail.
Well, you have all the tools you need to be successful on the outside. My vote is to grant upon an approved residence plan.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Williams, and my vote is the same. You were given the opportunity before, and you were just having some trouble with a residence plan. So we want to see the approved residence plan, and then as Mrs. Stapleton requires, you'll have to comply with anything the Steve Hoyle program told you to do in terms of aftercare.
Yes, ma'am.
Understand?
Yes, ma'am. I had got an address. I just put in an address. I've done an interview with a sober living house, the Freedom House.
Is that in Lacombe?
No, ma'am. That's not the one. I got one. I just done an interview with in Baton Rouge. It's a known program. It's like an extension from the Steve Hoyle program. It's gonna be like it, but I'm gonna be in-house and do programs like drug programs. It's a transition.
That's good. That's good. Now, your parole officer will have to verify that, but once that's been verified, then that's where you'll go.
Yes,
okay?
ma'am.
You don't
Yes.
seem real excited.
Yes, ma'am. I am excited. I'm just listening to you, to understand and be appreciated.
All right. Well, good luck to you. You been paroled today, so good luck.
Yes, ma'am. I gotta submit the address to okay.
He'll explain it. We're gonna sign off at 11:35.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.